So I'm trying to fill in this very hideous looking seam lines on the wing. There's this kind of zigzag here, and it's just ugly, and yeah, so it's a lot of sanding to do. And I'm running into a couple gaps. So I just want to show you guys something. So as I'm sanding, I'm mixing up a lot of nice dust. What's kind of cool, I can take my extra thin Tamiya cement and you kind of angle the brush so it's flat, and you just paint on the dust like this. And what will happen, the dust acts as filler, so you don't have to putty it. Just thought I'd show that really quick here. Back to the sanding, because probably going to be here for another 20 minutes just doing this wing. So I got lots of the silver painted, with just a little exception on the top here and other little bits. So what I'm going to do here is mask off the shark jaw. I found one that I liked. It's the Boise Bronco, and I thought, oh, this is actually a candidate for building to begin with, just to build this aircraft. And so I looked up Boise Bronco, and I didn't know that that's the name of their football and I believe basketball teams. Anyways, it's a sports team in Boise, and so I think I only found one other picture of this thing because all it wanted to do was show me sports, which I had very little care at. So anyways, but the reason why I like it, I just love the shape of the mouth. It's big. It's basically exactly what I wanted. And you can see here, it's this black outline, and there's just this thin red of this gum line here, and then these big white teeth. And I think what I'm going to do is paint the white and the red with hand brush, and then this is just going to be airbrushed. I think I'm going to change the eye. I'm going to find a different eye just to make it a little more menacing. So what I've done here, I've got some tracing paper here, and I'm just drawing on the model right now with just a regular pencil here, and bottom one needs to come down. Kind of needs to make a point about here. So let's go past this window like so. So it's gonna be a pretty big jaw. I can see in the picture here it goes basically all the way up to the window here. So I've tried to mimic that, and yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. That looks fairly nice. So now what I'm going to do, same thing again, but I'm going to use a permanent marker here. Like that. Okay, that's center. And place my tracing paper on it now. Come on. Go around. There we go. This is a very awkward model to do. So now I've got my shape here. Let me just correct a bit of it, make it more. Ugh. Okay, pretty good. That's what I want. So, and where did I put them? Here they are. my scissors. Let's remove this tape here. For the Citroen, which hopefully will be done by the time you're watching this. So I'm just going to cut this out like so. Okay, so there's my my jaw. So I'm going to take some chamois tape. Nice and flat. Okay, cool. Now, what we'll do here is simply retrace this. For the other side, all I have to do is flip it over like that, and you're good to go. So now, so the only unfortunate thing here is our mask is in two sections, so we have to work with that, unfortunately. But if we do this top here first, because this goes around the turret, should be a bit easier. And plus, actually, since we drew it on the model already, we can probably just, yeah. Oop. Picking up a pencil here and some extra tape. And the same thing with the bottom. So that's just as easy as it's going to be. Simple as that. Quite happy with this. This looks very nice. And so now all I have to do is just maybe mask a little bit around here. And like I said, I'm just going to airbrush this part black and then hand paint the rest of it in there. because I don't quite feel like airbrushing all of that, masking it off over and over again. I'd really like to get this model done, and there's still quite a bit more to do. I think I'm probably going to hand paint the eye around the window as well. Just because I want this to be as flat as I can, especially on the clear parts. But it's looking quite like that. It's looking pretty good. So let's go, and I'm going to go here and I'm going to go finish the rest of masking this off. So I think it looks pretty ridiculous at this point. Not too bad though. I got the shape that I liked, and it's nice thick black lines on there. So now I'm going to, as I mentioned, hand paint. I'm going to use P3 paints. This is Kedar Red base and Morrow White. These are really nice colors. Little acrylic pots, good price. You get a lot of paint for $3.50. So I'm going to go ahead and hand paint the rest of this stuff on here, and yeah, just going to follow this picture along as a template, and hopefully I'll get these done soon. And I'm actually going to keep the eye on here. I kind of actually like it. It's growing on me a bit, and to make it more menacing, all I'm going to do is just draw these lines down, kind of make them a little more angry. That's about it. That should, I think, do it. And one thing I noticed is kind of weird. I didn't notice this before, but there's no anti-glare panel on this one, on the nose. So don't have to do that. I just have to do it for the engines. So off we go. So that's just another reminder of why I hate paint like this with these caps that are, you know, stuck on to the bottle. I went to push it down like this, and it slipped, and I spilled a whole bunch of it out here. Hate bottles like this, but these P3 paints are excellent. I love them. Definitely going to grab some more of those when I go back to the shop there. So I thought I'd show you guys. Here's the shark. I'm quite happy with this. So yeah, as you saw, I airbrushed that black and painted this red line on here, and then painted in all the teeth, and I kind of just made this curved pattern, and I just saw one picture of one and it just had tons of teeth, and so I just did that. I just kind of spaced them apart, and they're kind of uneven, and I like it because it looks like someone, you know, did it, and it wasn't like a professional artist like they have nowadays. So, and then the eye, I made it kind of teardrop shaped, which I like quite a bit, and then I'll just take out the tape there for the window, and I gave it this nice little angry eyebrow. So quite happy with how this has turned out. And yeah, so what I'm gonna do is, I forgot to do this. I forgot why I hate chrome paint, Tamiya chrome, is the flecks of silver are everywhere. So like I've got all this little glitter bits on my fingers, and I'm just going to paint the whole thing in future. Let it sit and dry for, you know, a day or so, and then I'll be able to handle it without worrying about picking it up on my fingers again. So it's coming along pretty well. I'm quite happy with this. I think it looks very nice and mean, which is what I was going for. So now it's on to sanding some more on the wings and the engines and stuff like that. And yeah, gonna get this thing done actually quicker than I thought, so I'm pretty excited about that. So I'm decaling the plane now, and that's going pretty well. Decals are nice. They're kinda thick, but they're really nice and transparent where they need to be. And yeah, I'm just working on the wing here. I thought I'd just show you guys what they're like. Did the fuselage already, but I don't have a lot of room. I'm basically working myself into a corner here with everything going on, but yeah, that was kind of my problem with doing this kit in the first place, because I knew it was going to be really big and take up a lot of space. So that's why the last thing I'm going to do is glue on. Glue on the wings. So, because if I glue on the wings, there's no way I'm going to be able to show you guys the model. You know, without having to put it on another desk or bigger table or something. Anyways, yeah, there's a problem with kind of the decals is they're very all over the place, I guess, and they don't really have kind of a standard version, which is something like Airfix and Revell, and even some of the other companies, or even Monogram kits have them, where it's just standard where you're supposed to put all the stencils and stuff. This one doesn't have it. So it's been a little tricky trying to figure out what goes where, especially since, you know, what's right and wrong when you're kind of building a custom bomber here. So I'm going to just put this, I'm using Tamiya Mark Fit Strong for this, and they seem to be reacting pretty well to it. I haven't had any bad results with them so far. And I used it on the control panel, and they conformed very nicely. So I was pretty excited about that. Let's see, how does this fit? So yeah, it fits about right there. Looks pretty good. And I'm just going to take a cotton swab. In this case it is an official Q-tip brand Q-tip. And roll them out. Looks pretty good to me. And I'm just going to, after a little while, what I'll come back and do, like maybe 10 minutes or so, I'll come back to it and I'll just press down on them, you know, so that the panel lines go through, and then I'll give it like a final coat of some more Mark Fit, just to make sure that they stick down, you know, and they're more secure and stronger. The last thing I'm going to do with the decals is take them and give them just a quick gloss coat of Future, just really quick, just to protect them all, and that should basically be it. And yeah, I think after this I'll be ready to do all the windows and clear parts, that stuff. Oh, how I wish I had some form of tool or device that would help me be able to put in these really difficult windows. Well, I do have a tool for that. Wahahaha. And I get to test it out today with you guys. I've already actually used it before. It works pretty darn well. I'm just trying to get this glue in here. And that doesn't seem to want to stay in all the crevices I want it to. So, yeah, I'm just gluing in these windows here, and pretty close to putting in the wings here. Hold on, here we go. So this is the Model Pal, and it's this little suction device, and you get these little suction cup attachments for it. And I'll need no, I can use this one, the medium sized one will work. And I just keep them in this little container so I don't, you know, lose them, because that would be great. And so yeah, you just put the little tool on the suction end, like so, and you squeeze it. Oop. Keep forgetting to keep your hands tight when you squeeze it. Come on. Okay. Doesn't help if the stand is pushing it away as well. There. Perfect. That's excellent. So, a little too much glue, but that's okay. it'll dry. So yeah, now to do the other side here. So, don't think I can quite, show it on this side, sorry. But then the next thing I'm going to do, I think, is glue the tail on here. You can see they're nice and straight. They look pretty good. Heck, while I'm here, I'll do that. And spin her around. And gotta put it down here. Okay. Alright. I think I'll use a regular cement for this one. I think this will do. I'm hoping that just the weight of this will, hold it down enough. I want to keep the seam tight in here. That way it'll just look like part of the fuselage. And keep the glue away from the tail turret here. That way I don't risk fogging up the window. That's actually sticking on there pretty tight. We're going to build the landing gear struts here. And yeah, painted them, I think I mentioned that, painted them steel to be a bit of a different contrast in color. Ah, that's great. They don't fit. It's these pieces here. Huh, that's weird. Yeah, I'll put that on last. Doesn't want to fit. So I'll just put it on this way. And yeah, then just glue that other one on there after. But yeah, so you put these in here, and then you put this brace in here to support the whole thing. That one doesn't quite fit. It's a bit tight. So I'll just sand down the nub, because that's easier to do. There we go, that's better. So, I'm just going to use some regular cement here for now. There's a little notch in here. That's where you're supposed to put the brace here. So that's fitting, and just put some extra thin around it. This is just kind of like security, just to make sure. Sometimes the regular cement doesn't quite get in all the areas that you want, so adding a little bit of this helps out. And that looks pretty good. See how this will fit. Yeah, it doesn't even really fit into the pegs. It's like a millimeter too high for anything. It's kind of ridiculous. Like, if this is too high, it's supposed to be lower. But I don't care. What I'm going to do instead is, since you're not really going to see it, I'm just going to put some glue on the bottom here. And I'm just going to glue it down like this. So and take a little extra thin and just glue it at the top there. It needs it. Alright, so that's done. Sweet! Quite like that. Looks pretty good. I think I just gotta twist it a little. There we go. Awesome. So what I want to do is I want to leave the landing gear alone to dry for, a few hours till it's, basically done. That way I can glue it onto the model and set it down, because it's kind of one of the things of when you're building, the landing gears. How do you put the landing gear in and then you have to leave the model hanging upside down or who knows what. But it's a fairly big model and I don't want to do that. So by letting these dry right now, I can glue it to the wings. So my next step here is going to take me quite a while to do is the propellers. Painted them black, painted the tips yellow here. This part here is going to be silver, but this is how I had them clamped, like this, so I could paint them. So my next step here is to glue on all the propeller decals, and once these are on, I think they'll look pretty darn good, and the way they've conformed onto the rest of the model, I'm quite confident about them. So that's my next goal here, and that's going to take me quite a while to do, but that'll be very worth it in the end, because they'll look awesome. It really does. I did it on the 48 scale Memphis Belle, and it kind of killed me to do it because it's a lot of work. But when you see it done there and you see them all on there, you just get this great sense of satisfaction of completing it. Alright everybody, it is done. I've completed it, as you saw by the slideshow pictures there. I'm really happy with how this model has turned out. This was a fun kit, I have to admit. I was a little hesitant about it at first, but jumping right on in, really fun kit, beautiful model. I'm really happy with the end result of this guy. Glad I finally got to do this one. I took the time, decided to finally do it, because it's been sitting on the shelf for a while now, and it's just really nice to see this one finally completed. Actually, my dad is the one who's the most excited, because it's going into his studio now, so it'll be flying up there with the rest of the B-17s and stuff like that, if you guys recall from earlier video I did, which I should redo and shoot in higher quality. But anyways, yeah, the model itself is pretty well constructed. I was really surprised. Like the part that was kind of bugging me in the assembly was all the turrets and stuff like that. Because usually when you do a kit like this, you're supposed to close the fuselage halves around the turret, and that's how they keep from falling out. But in this case, no, that's kind of the exact opposite. You put them in when you're done. So I've just popped that in there, and the same with the one here on the tail. It just snaps right in, as long as you don't put this in yet, which is what I did, and it worked out really well. So, and same thing with the ball turret there. It's on this own little separate rectangular cradle here, and you just put that in. I think the only pieces that didn't quite fit off the bat were the Bombay doors. One of the Bombay doors just didn't quite want to fit in there. It just took a little bit of sanding, got it down in there. So really happy about that. I'm glad I went ahead and did the checker tail pattern. I think it looks pretty good. I think it's quite unique. I don't know if it's something I'll be doing anytime soon again. It was a bit of work to line that up, and I didn't quite do as perfect a job, but it's actually given me more confidence to try something like this again in the future. So maybe I will do that again on another model. You know, only time will tell. The decals themselves, they were very well received with the Tamiya Mark Fit Strong. You know, it was just a little bit of decal solvent. They conformed perfectly on the fuselage and anywhere else. And then it was just a slight brush of Future. They're sealed. You can't see any silvering or shadow of the decal film. Perfect. So I'm really excited about that. I think the only thing that was a bit of a bother and that was the engines here. They kind of have this funny zigzag pattern on here. Would have been a lot nicer had Monogram, had it cut off at about right here, and you glue those on when you're done. But again, that's just kind of more nitpicking than anything else. It went in there pretty well. It did take quite a bit of filler to get them sanded down properly. They are kind of, they're the part that's going to require, I think, the most work on the model. And I'm really glad I went ahead and, when I sanded down the fuselage, I'm really glad I went ahead and added in all the little details that I would have lost earlier, particularly the lights here on the bottom. I made them more 3D, or three-dimensional, I should say, instead of them just being kind of these little scribed circles on the bottom. So I think they look a lot better right now. Really happy with how the shark mouth turned out. I think it's this very sinister, looking grin. It's kind of up to no good. You don't really know what it's thinking, but it can't be thinking good thoughts. It's got a big payload. It's heading for some factory in the middle of somewhere, and it's kind of got this watch out look to it. Yeah, it's a fairly plain camouflage scheme that I put on here. Basically just silver. The chrome, I hate airbrushing that stuff because the silver flecks fall out everywhere. So I've got to invest in a table fan, and that's something I'm looking into for the near future. Which brings me on to the next one. The best way to combat this stuff is when you're done to just airbrush a coat of Future on it. It makes this nice sheen on it. It's looks very natural metal. So I'm really happy with this, and I'm really glad it's going to be sitting up there, and hopefully more people will enjoy it. Hope you guys have enjoyed it as well. It again was a terrific kit. Even though I didn't get to actually build the tractor, I should be getting replacement parts for those very soon. They're on their way as far as I'm concerned, or as far as I know. Not concerned. I am concerned, but as far as I know, they're on their way. I just have to be patient, wait for them to get here, and I'll probably do a quick video on those when they get here. Just to be as simple as that, do a building video of that little towing tractor. So that's about it. Again, guys, it's a really good model. The only problem you're going to have with it, honestly, is it's a big model, so you're going to have room for it. But if you're a fan of the Liberator, this is definitely going to be one that you want to add into your collection. I'm really happy with this guy. I can't quite stress that enough, because the Liberator is not one of my favorite planes, but I'm really happy with how this one pulled out. So thanks everybody for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. I will be bringing you another model build. It's kind of actually almost completed, the next project, so you'll get to see that one pretty soon. So look forward to that. It'll be a pleasant surprise and very different, I'm sure, for a lot of you. But yeah, thanks again for watching, everybody. This is Rebels of Cloud 9. If I haven't taught you anything, at least you've learned what not to do. I'll see you guys next time.